Once upon a time, in a quiet little town, there was a toy shop filled with wonders. Wooden horses stood proudly in rows, dolls with porcelain faces smiled sweetly, and puzzles invited curious minds to solve them. Yet, among all these toys, there was one that seemed different. He was a small tin soldier, painted neatly in bright colors. Unlike the others, however, he had only one leg, for the metal had run out when he was made. But though he stood on a single leg, his posture was straight, his chest out, and his gaze forward. There was something noble about him, a quiet strength that spoke of determination. He was named the Steadfast Tin Soldier, for he never wavered, no matter how uneven the ground beneath him might be. On the table where he stood, there were other toys as well. Among them was a delicate paper ballerina, dressed in a sparkling white gown, her arms raised gracefully above her head. She stood so lightly on her toes that it seemed as if she could float away at any moment. The tin soldier, standing tall on his single leg, felt his heart stir when he saw her. He thought to himself, "She is perfect. She too stands on one leg, just like me. Perhaps she understands." From that moment on, he admired her from afar. He wished to step forward, to tell her of his admiration, but his duty as a soldier was to remain silent and steadfast. Every night, when the clock struck 12 and the toys came to life, he longed to step forward. But fear held him back. What if she laughed at his missing leg? What if she did not return his feelings? One night, a mischievous goblin from inside a toy box whispered mockingly to him, "Stay away from the ballerina. She is too grand for you, soldier with one leg. You do not belong." But the tin soldier ignored the cruel words and kept his eyes on her, his love unwavering. The next day, fate tested him. A gust of wind blew open the window, and the soldier fell from the table. Down, down he tumbled, until he landed on the street below. The fall was hard, but he did not cry out. He stood upright, as steadfast as ever. Soon, 2 curious boys found him and placed him in a paper boat. With laughter, they set the little boat afloat in the gutter, and the soldier sailed away on a rushing stream of rainwater. The journey was perilous. The water roared like an ocean, sweeping the little boat faster and faster. Dark tunnels loomed ahead, where rats with sharp teeth tried to block his path. "Where is your passport?" they demanded. "Where is your coin to pass through?" The tin soldier had nothing to give, but he held firm. His duty was to stand tall, no matter what came. His silence was his strength. The rats tried to stop him, but the water carried him onward. At last, the boat was swept into a great canal. The paper softened, tore, and then collapsed. The tin soldier sank beneath the water, his painted uniform fading as the current pulled him down. He thought of the ballerina, her graceful figure, her sparkling dress, and wished he could have told her how he felt. But fate had more trials in store. A fish swam by and swallowed him whole. Darkness surrounded him, yet even there, the tin soldier remained steadfast. He did not despair. He accepted his fate with courage, for that was the way of a soldier. One morning, the fish was caught and sold at the market. By chance, it was taken to the very house where the tin soldier had once stood. The cook cut the fish open, and there he was, shining faintly, but still standing tall on his one leg. The children cried out in delight and placed him back on the table, where the ballerina still stood in her graceful pose. For a moment, joy filled the tin soldier's heart. He was home, beside the one he had admired from afar. But destiny had one last test. A boy, perhaps out of mischief, picked up the soldier and tossed him into the fireplace. The flames roared around him, yet still he did not bend, did not cry, did not move. He stood straight, as steadfast as ever. The heat grew stronger, his paint began to peel, and soon he melted. When the fire burned low, all that remained of him was a small, heart-shaped piece of tin. At that same moment, a sudden gust of wind blew the ballerina from the table. and she too fell into the fire. The flames consumed her paper gown, and all that was left was a tiny piece of ash shaped like a delicate heart. Side by side, the heart of tin and the heart of ash lay together, united in the end. So, children, this is the story of the steadfast tin soldier who loved a ballerina and went through so much for her. And always remember, it's not about winning or losing, but about trying your best and being the best version of yourself. That's all that matters. Now, my dear friends, it's time for me to ask you a question. Do you also admire those who stay strong and keep trying despite many challenges? Just like our steadfast soldier friend? Tell me about it in the comments below. I can't wait to read your stories. And if you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit the like button for me. Your support means everything to me. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.